Today we're gonna make some no-knead bread. I'm gonna show you how I put it together, tell you the basic ingredients, and I'm also gonna go through the things that I add to it. To start off with, we want to start off with our yeast, so we need to get some water, 110 degrees. So I like to use the back of my wrist, determine how warm the water is, see if it's close enough. There we go, that's about 110 degrees. How I can tell that with the back of the wrist method is it just starts like it's feeling to burn. You're at about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So I do have a baking thermometer, cooking thermometer, where we can actually determine what the temperature is. We don't want it too hot, we don't want it too cold. Too hot, it'll kill off the yeast. Too cold, it won't activate it fast enough. There we are, pretty close. What is that, oh, it's going down now. Yeah, maybe it's 108 degrees. The wrist is still a pretty good tool for me. So I'm just using Fleischmann's traditional active dry yeast. 1/4 teaspoon. I do a heaping teaspoon. So we'll leave this for 10 minutes, do its thing. So now into the main ingredients. So there are 4 main ingredients. 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, 1.5 cups of water, 3 cups of flour, about a teaspoon of salt. That's all you regularly need for no-knead dough. 1 cup, 2 cups. I don't worry about it being exact, but close enough. 3 cups. And then we want our tablespoon of salt. Slightly more. Should probably use a proper measuring spoon. Everything I've done now are the key ingredients. Now everything's bonus. So I like to use some nutritional yeast, maybe about a tablespoon. Have parsley, tablespoon, pretty much a tablespoon of everything in here. Oregano, a tablespoon. Rosemary, about a tablespoon. Sugar, maybe a couple teaspoons. I want some poppy seeds, probably half a tablespoon, and some flax seeds, good tablespoon. That's it, that's it. That's a lot more than the original recipe calls for. Mix it up, just with the back of your wooden spoon. That's what we look like when it's all mixed up. Now our yeast, we're gonna add our yeast water in just a minute. If you watch the yeast, you'll see the yeast, it sinks down and then it will come back up, rise to the top as it's starting to activate. The yeast itself doesn't necessarily need to be activated. We could have just thrown it in with the bread, but I like to give it a head start so that it will start activating so that we can do this sooner. Once the yeast has come up a bit, so we're gonna give it another few more minutes, then we're gonna mix it in with the flour and make our dough. Okay, so we don't need to wait for it to completely rise, everything in here to rise. Take a spoon, mix that up a bit. Pour it in and stir. So you stir it until you've got this. They call this a shaggy dough. And as long as everything's been picked up from the sides and the bottom, you're good with this. So again, our shaggy dough. There we go. I'm just gonna rinse these off. So then we wanna cover this with cling film. There. Here's a rubber band to hold it in place. Just like that. So it's done. Put that on to the side of the counter and we will wait. This will be ready in about 4 hours at the earliest. That's probably what I take, but you can leave it on for 8, you can leave it on for 16. As long as you want, come back, we'll take it out, we'll process it, and then we'll get it in the oven. Our dough has risen. As you can see, it's, I don't know, about 1 inch away from the top, 2.5 centimeters. It's now just over 4 hours later. What we're gonna do, elastic off, cling film off. We wanna put a little flour down. Like so, just spread that around. That's just so it doesn't stick to the counter. And also the spatula. Spatula, we're gonna come in here. And just roll it in on itself. And tuck it underneath, so roll it around, tuck it in. Make sure it's all covered. It's good, into a little ball. Just clean the bowl out like that. Then I dry it. Then we want some parchment paper to cover the top, to cover the bowl. 20 inches, 40 centimeters or so. Lift up and in. Now, the traditional method, if you were going with just the traditional way of making this, you'd be done. You cover it, wait for the oven to heat up. I'm not done, so I'm just gonna wet the top, just with my hands, get a little bit wet, and get some items on top. I like a little bit of coarse salt. Don't need a whole lot. Sesame seeds. You can put more than you would think on there. Then we'll go again with our rosemary, parsley flakes, oregano, and some shredded Parmesan. And that's the real stuff, by the way, not fake, real shredded Parmesan. So this is what we look like on top. It's not bad. We'll cover it with a towel, put it on the oven. Now over here, I have my Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven, and we're going to bake to 450. So I'm gonna let that preheat, come back, put this in the oven, show you when that happens. So the oven's now preheated. We're gonna bring out the Dutch oven, take the top off. We're just going to simply lift up and into our Dutch oven. Put the lid on, back in the oven, and bake for 36 minutes. And then when that's done, we'll come back, we'll take the lid off, bake for another 8 minutes, and then it's done. Okay, there goes the timer. So let's get the top of the Dutch oven off. Take the lid. And another 8 minutes. And once that's done, it comes out of the oven and on the rack to cool. Okay, are good. Turn off that. We can turn off the oven now. There we go. And the good thing about the parchment paper, we can now carefully grab it and pull it right out. There we go. There's our loaf of bread. So I'm gonna let that cool, and then after it cools, I'm gonna put it in a bag in the fridge to cool down even more. And then I'll add a little bit of moisture to it. Then I can slice it and get it ready to go. A lot of people will want to eat this fresh, and it's great. You can slice it and pull off chunks and have pieces when it's fresh. It's great tasting. It's awesome as it is. But for me, I use it for my meals and stuff like that. So it's easier to slice it if I cool it first in the fridge. There we go. That's it. No knead bread, done in a jiffy. I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, bye.